My name is Faith Halverson-Ramos, and I'm a board-certified music therapist and transpersonally oriented psychotherapist working in Colorado in the United States. The topic of my talk is on music and spirituality in the 21st century. My reasons for speaking on this topic are that more adults are identifying as being spiritual but not religious. With that, adults today are showing themselves to be a bit more flexible in religious affiliation. In other words, there are more people who are open to exploring other traditions, more so than was the case in generations past. As well as this increasing number of people who identify themselves as being spiritual but not religious, this group of people who are more flexible in their religious affiliation, more open to exploration. There are also a segment of adults who don't hold any spiritual or religious affiliation. So there's this greater number of people out there who don't fit within the standard box or the standard boxes of a traditional religious affiliation. And I want to make sure that the needs of those who don't adhere to a specific religious tradition, I want to make sure that those spiritual or existential needs are met in a respectful and inclusive manner. Another reason for speaking on this topic is that music has long been connected with spiritual practice. You can see from the beginning of human time how music has been used in the spiritual practices of a wide variety of traditions. And so having that understanding of that long-held relationship between music and spirituality, the power of music to take us into non-ordinary states of consciousness, the power of music to help connect us with something greater than ourselves, is to me very significant and a reason for speaking on this topic. However, with that, we have come to understand, or there is a need, I believe, to understand sacred or spiritual music in a different way. Since the mid-20th century, our understanding of what is sacred music has shifted and evolved as there has been increased musical fusion and the development of popular music, in particular rock and roll. Another reason that I chose to speak on this topic is that our sense of health and well-being can also be influenced by our beliefs, and this includes our experience of spirituality and how we make greater meaning in our lives. And music can also support our sense of health and well-being. And in addition to this, it is also inclusive and can express the transpersonal directly or indirectly. So in other words, music can help us experience the transpersonal in ways that don't involve labels or a specific theological point of view, while at the same time can help us experience an enhanced sense of health and well-being. My desire in giving this presentation is that it can help further the discussion about the relationship between music and contemporary spirituality, while also beginning to more deeply explore the synergistic roles that music and spirituality can play in one's personal sense of health and wellness. To begin, I'd like to talk a little more about the origins for having a new understanding of music and spirituality. From my perspective, the origins for gaining or developing a new understanding of music and spirituality can be found in the 1960s. It was during this time that there was a significant number of young people who desired to expand their consciousness. And this was done through the use of psychedelic drugs, music, and the studying of Eastern traditions. And while may not be true in every case, there is some overlap that exists between these three different methods. For example, the music therapist Dr. Helen Bonney and psychiatrist Dr. Stan Grof worked together in doing research using LSD in music. And these experiences would later lead to Dr. Bonney developing the guided imagery in music, and Dr. Grof into developing holotropic breath work. And in each of these ways of working, music plays a key role in helping people to experience this non-ordinary state of consciousness that was previously fostered through the use of psychedelics. In the case of guided imagery in music, traditionally, instrumental classical music was used, whereas based on my own personal experience with holotropic breathwork, I found that the music was more evocative and eclectic in nature. There were more themes of world rhythms and instrumentation, whereas my experiences with the Bonney guided imagery and music method involves classical music. As well, in the 60s, there were music festivals and concert tours, and these events created their own unique cultures that had a particular spiritual ethos to it. With these festivals, there was a collective experience of people coming together and sharing a live musical experience. How much of that was influenced by the use of substances and how much of that was influenced by the actual musical experience itself, it's hard to say, but together they created these experiences for those who attended. And lastly, in bringing together East and West, bringing over Eastern traditions to Western culture, popular musicians of that time helped serve as a bridge for bringing these two worlds together. For example, the Beatles and the Beach Boys were followers of Maharishi. And you can hear in some of their music where these spiritual themes come out in expression. For example, George Harrison wrote the song Within You, Without You, that talks about going within oneself and how what they see outside of themselves is a reflection. At the same time, in the 1970s, you saw a merging of traditional religious themes with popular culture in the forms of the Broadway musicals Jesus Christ Superstar and Godspell, as well as the movie about the life of St. Francis of Assisi called Brother Sun and Sister Moon, in which Donovan, the musician Donovan, provided the soundtrack. So you can see how, beginning in the mid-1960s, there was a crossover between secular music and spiritual concepts, secular culture and spirituality, which in my work as a music therapist and as a psychotherapist, I work with this dimension of spirituality to both enhance people's sense of health and well-being, as well as to specifically support spiritual growth and development. In my clinical work, I focus specifically on enhancing health and well-being, and I do this in working with people in end-of-life care, working with people who are receiving hospice care, who just by nature of their stage in life are looking at what comes next. They have these existential questions, these spiritual questions, and music is able to serve as a way to open them up to engaging in deeper exploration. That can be exploring what is their personal understanding of spirituality. How satisfied are they really with the way they've lived their lives and the choices that they've made? Are they truly at peace with that, or is there room for more forgiveness or acceptance? Music is able to provide a means for engaging in that exploration, whether that be through pre-composed songs, preferred music that contains themes that are relevant to that person's experience, or by composing our own songs, engaging in songwriting, helping people tap into their personal experience and putting it into song form, to also improvising music, wherein words aren't necessary. It is purely the experience of self, with a capital S, expression through sound. One song that I was frequently asked to provide to people was called "One Day at a Time" by Chris Christopherson. It's a country song, but it does have religious themes in that it specifically references Jesus. But at the same time, the basis of the song is of the importance of just taking one day at a time. And knowing, being able to believe what we could really be, who we could really be. I'm only human. I'm just a woman. Help me believe in what I could be and all that I am. Show me the stairway I have to climb. Lord, for my sake, help me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. That's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Another song that would be frequently requested, partly because in Colorado, John Denver is a state hero, but also because people who move out here tend to feel a deep affinity and connection to nature. And so the song Rocky Mountain High was often requested, and people could hear the imagery of nature and could put themselves in this position of this person being in the midst of this natural glory. So I invite you to listen to the words and experience yourself in nature. He was born in the summer of his 27th year, coming home to a place he'd never been before. He left yesterday behind him. You might say he was born again. You might say he found the key to every door. When he first came to the mountains, his life was far away, on a road and hanging by a song. But the string's already broken, and he doesn't really care. It keeps changing fast, and it don't last for long. But the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it raining fire in the sky. The shadows in the starlight are softer than a lullaby. Rocky Mountain High in Colorado. Rocky Mountain High in Colorado. He climbed cathedral mountains, he saw silver clouds below. He saw everything as far as you can see. And they say that he got crazy once and tried to touch the sun. And he lost a friend but kept his memory. Now he walks in quiet solitude, the forests and the streams, seeking grace in every step he takes. His sight has turned inside himself to try and understand the serenity of a clear blue mountain lake. And that Colorado Rocky Mountain high, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. You can talk to God and listen to the casual reply. Rocky Mountain high in Colorado. Rocky Mountain high in Colorado. Now his life is full of wonder, but his heart still knows some fear of the simple things he cannot comprehend. When they try to tear the mountains down to bring in a couple more people, more scars upon the land. And that Colorado Rocky Mountain high, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. I know he'd be a poorer man if he never saw an eagle fly. Rocky Mountain high in Colorado. Rocky Mountain high in Colorado. Rocky Mountain high. In my work with individuals and groups from a more counseling or non-hospice perspective, I use and introduce music as a way to help them uncover deeper meaning in their lives. Oftentimes when people come to me for counseling, they're in the midst of some sort of life transition. Perhaps they've retired from a job and are questioning what comes next for them in their lives, or they're changing careers, or a relationship has ended. Something has happened that leaves them questioning who they are, questioning their sense of identity. And so they come to me seeking musical experiences that can help them gain greater understanding and perspective of their situation. So in my work with them, we use music to help them foster a sense of empowerment, to become empowered to make the changes that they want to make in their lives, to become empowered to see the greater possibilities that exist for them, to support their self, again with a capital S, expression, How do they want to create? What is theirs to create in the world? And with this, using music to enable them to recognize greater perspectives of themselves. And this can include, in the group setting, experiences of being part of something greater than just one's individual self. And in this setting, the ways in which I use music vary. It can range from improvisation, drumming, vocalizing, because I believe that the voice is an especially powerful instrument and can be a true tool for personal expression, as well as listening to recorded music that is personally meaningful to that person and engaging in some analysis about the lyrics and exploring what it is about the lyrics that is resonating for that person at that particular time in their life. As well as, again, writing songs, helping people put their thoughts and feelings into musical form as a way to take what's within themselves and put it out there, but also as a way to help reinforce some of the positive affirmations and goals that one may have for one's life. Music can be a great memory tool. A melody gets stuck in our head and we may hear it over and over, the concept of an earworm. And with that melody, if you put meaningful lyrics to that melody, then you have this loop happening in your mind, which then changes the way your brain is communicating to the rest of your body and helping reshift things so that those beliefs become more embodied, become more a part of who that person is. It no longer is just a intellectual exercise, but with the repetition can become an embodied awareness. In some of my community music therapy group work, I work with adults who are wanting to reconnect with themselves through their voice. And because the voice can be such a personal instrument, I mean, we are our voices, there is no hiding behind our voices. Sometimes concerns can come up for people, they can feel anxious or nervous or scared, but once they begin to really connect with their voices, they begin to experience an expanded sense of who they are. And one way of working with people in a community setting with song is using simple chant, easy words, easy melody line, so that people can follow along. And with that repetition, there is that increased sense of intention and ability to embody the meaning of the words. One chant that I do with groups is called I Will Be Gentle with Myself, and it is part of the Labana folk group collection. They have several songbooks of various chants and songs that touch on nature and different spiritual practices, and traditions. What I like about this one is the lyrics connect with us regardless of what our particular belief system may be. It's neutral in that sense, and yet universal. I will be gentle with myself. And I will sing through it a few times, and if you find yourself fighting back the urge to sing along, give in to the urge and allow yourself to be gentle with yourself. I will be gentle with myself, I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will be gentle with myself, I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will be gentle with myself, I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will be gentle with myself, I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. As a musician who just happens to be a music therapist and counselor, I provide music for New Thought spiritual services, specifically within the Unity tradition. And in this setting, I use my training as a music therapist and as a counselor to support the congregation's spiritual growth and development on both an individual level as well as a collective level. Within this particular community, the participants are older, yet they're also diverse in that they come to this community with different religious or spiritual backgrounds. They're seeking to live an authentic spiritual path that they can experience directly, in which theological labels aren't necessary. It's a lived experience of spirit. And so in this setting, the ways in which I use music to support this desire is choosing songs that have neutral terminology, avoiding songs that specifically identify certain deities as the only manifestation of spiritual concepts or principles. I really want to utilize inclusive music that can speak to people personally in whatever way resonates most with them. And as a performer, I want the music to be embodied. I want my ego to be able to get out of the way so that I can serve as a musical channel for the divine to come through and to touch people where they need to be touched. As well, when I'm leading congregational music, congregational song, I want the congregation to be embodied in singing along, and that's where I'll use simple chants that contain common spiritual themes that are easy to remember and recite, simple melody lines, and repeating the chant over multiple times so that people have the opportunity to move away from, again, it being an intellectual exercise coupled with possible nervousness about singing or making music, whatever judgments can and often do come up for people around being a music maker, and moving down into the heart where they can really feel the spiritual meaning within themselves, and going then even deeper into the body where these spiritual concepts are felt on a cellular level. People are fully resonating with the music. One song that I've often been asked to do is called "It's All Within You." It's all within you, it's all within you, it's all within you. It's all within you, it's all within you, it's all within you. Breathe in, breathe out, and know it's all within you. Breathe in, breathe out, and know it's all within you. Loving kindness within you, loving kindness within you, loving kindness within you. Loving kindness within you, loving kindness within you, loving kindness within you. Breathe in, breathe out, and know it's all within you. Breathe in, breathe out, and know it's all within you. And know it's all within you. Sometimes I also bring percussion into the spiritual service, again, as a way for people to experience themselves as being creators, as being creative, as being musical, and being able to connect with themselves on a very deep level, while also being able to connect with something greater than themselves. still sometimes for meditation, I will improvise music, instrumental music, while reciting guided meditation or selecting some lines from a spiritual or inspirational text and using that as a meditation to again help people experience something more transcendent. I allow the abundant universe to provide me with a multiplicity of opportunities, all designed to encompass and support my growth, my awareness, and my joyful expression of life. I allow the abundant universe to provide me with a multiplicity of opportunities, all designed to encompass and support my growth, my awareness, and my joyful expression of life. I allow the abundant universe to provide me with a multiplicity of opportunities, all designed to encompass and support my growth, my awareness, and my joyful expression of life. So just choosing a chord progression and repeating that, and taking some lyrics from an inspirational book or a quote or something that you make up on your own, and just repeating that again to help people go deeper within themselves to experience another state of consciousness. I am active nationally and internationally within the fields of music therapy and transpersonal psychology. I present frequently on the topics of mindfulness and music, embodied voice work, gerotranscendence, and music and end-of-life care. I am interested in collaborating with colleagues from around the world in these areas of study and research. If you would like to connect with me, I would love to connect with you, and here is my contact information.